The importance of teachers in our world cannot be overemphasized. For a nation to grow, the education sector plays a vital role in facilitating the development of every country. On Thursday, the 5th of October, was set aside to appreciate and honor teachers globally for their contributions to the development of our society at large. President Bola Tinubu on Thursday declared the determination of his administration to ensure teachers get their due reward. He regretted the challenges confronting Nigerian teachers, including overcrowded classrooms, scarce resources, and limited opportunities for professional development, which he said are the result of prolonged neglect of the noble profession. The president made the promise during the 2023 World Teachers' Day commemoration at Eagle Square in Abuja. President Tinubu, who was represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima, noted that Nigeria's future can only be safeguarded by investing in education, empowering the teachers, and providing every child with the tools to reach their dream destination. Joining us on the show to discuss how President Tinubu can keep to his promise is Professor Hamman Saad, former Vice Chancellor of the Federal University of Technology, Minna. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the morning show, sir. Good morning, Prof. Good to see you.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Okay, good. Prof, it's so good to see you. It's always a joy to have conversation with professors and teachers, people who have given people like myself an opportunity to grow and evolve into the man that I have become. So thank you for your service to humanity. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
All right, so let's start by asking, teachers' reward is in heaven is a known cliche that's been there forever, even when we were kids. And I know that even that was even before my time. From your time, you would have heard it so many times. Is this a right cliche? And is it good to know that the current president is saying, no, your reward is not in heaven if you're a teacher. It's got to be here because you have family to support. Let's start from that premise, sir.
Oh, thank you very much for reminding me of this cliche. I have lived most of my working life as a teacher, except for maybe 5 years when I was assigned an electoral duty somewhere. But all my life I've either been a student or a teacher. I want to say that this cliche is out of context. It's out of context because it is taken from a different environment, a different time, and a different perspective. In Islamic literature, it is attributed to Jesus Christ, who said, whoever acquires knowledge, I can't put it correctly, and works and teaches shall be mighty in heaven. Now, in Islam also there is a similar, will I call it proverb, that is attributed to Imam al-Ghazali, one of the greatest scholars in Islam, that if you teach, it's like giving sacrifice and you will get your reward. Now, these people were basically talking about religious teaching. Teach people about God, teach them to obey God, teach them to do all what is said in the commandments. Now we are in an era of secular education. Not only that, this may apply to the Abrahamic religions. Even at their contemporaries, there were Buddhists, and then there were Confucians, and there are so many others who probably, some of them do not believe in heavens. So how do you tell their teachers that please work hard you will be rewarded in heavens. And there are more of them on this globe than those who believe they are going to heavens by teaching. So I would rather replace this adage with another English proverb. If you give somebody peanuts, what will you get? You get monkeys.
Very
and
true,
that is what the teacher is getting in Nigeria. Yes, you get monkeys. That is what peanuts are for. I have seen the position of teacher deteriorate from one of the most respected personalities, especially at the lower level. When we were in primary school, the person next to the district head in terms of prestige and respect and even salary was the headmaster. And I live near the border with the Cameroon. And we also cross there and see. The maître, as the teacher is called, is highly respected by the whole community. Along the line, we have lost this. Our first republic politicians who carried this country on their shoulders, those from the north at least, were mostly teachers. Malam Aminu Kano, Sadu Zungur, or even the Sardauna himself, anybody call them. These were the people who are respected, who were sent to represent the community. And now, today, teaching is the last port of call. It's the last job anybody will like to pick. So it has come to a point where that somebody even who has done education in the university, will just go to teach because he has no job, and he spends most of his time looking for appropriate job. Why? Because the remuneration is so low, the prestige is very low. This is just a teacher. Well, some of us have been found there, but we don't care whether you look upon us or down on us. But there are some of these young people who see their own colleagues in other sectors, even within the public sector, being regarded as more important, and being remunerated like being politicians. If you're a politician, your salary and allowances, for example, even if a member of House of Rep can pay 100, maybe 200 teachers. So how do you expect teacher to have prestige or even to make his ends meet? And you expect him to wait until he goes to heaven, whether he believes in heaven or not. No, that's not. That is not a proverb that operates in our contemporary time. You have to remunerate these people according to the services. And if you go around the globe, you will find countries that value teachers and pay them properly, and are the countries whose educational system are some of the best. Let's go to the East. People who are former, well, not necessarily colonists, but who we regarded as third world like us. Pick one. Pick Indonesia. Teachers are highly valued there. They are very well paid. Not to talk of Singapore, teachers are highly valued and they are well paid. If you go to Japan, who is the most valued person in a society? It is the teacher. Now, if somebody finishes a university and he decided to be teaching in the village, and it happens in Japan, well, there was a research like that was done in the 70s. Why Americans were concerned. Why is Asia moving faster than us? Let's look at their educational system from primary school to the level of university or whatever it is. And they did a study on that. They studied Japan, they studied China, they studied some of these small tigers, and so they came up with a revealing result. And I know this because I was a student in the University of Michigan when this research was going on. It's a longitudinal research. They are following a sample for 12 years.
All right.
From the day you enter primary school up to the day you leave. So they found out that the difference is that in America, teaching, at least at the lower level, is not regarded very high. Whoever
Prof.
you see is teaching, he's just waiting for another job.
All right, Prof.
Yeah, so here in Nigeria, that's the kind of thing we are doing.
Okay.
Any teacher is somebody who cannot find better job. And how can you get good students? And how can you get good education?
All right, Prof. Let me ask the following question so that you can take that as well. How much faith do you have in the promises by President Bola Tinubu to teachers? He has apparently identified 3 areas where he reckons that intervention will be necessary. Funding is part of it. Creating opportunities, of course, he also said, will be part of it. Given the fact that his deputy, the Vice President, Kashim Shettima, who represented him at the World Teachers' Day celebration, was once a lecturer at the University of Maiduguri, was in the academia between 1991 and 1993. And given also the fact that even President Tinubu himself at a point said, while being a brilliant student in Chicago, that even made some extra cash tutoring other students, to be at par with him. Will you think, therefore, that given the experience that he has informally in teaching and the experience that Kashim Shettima has as a lecturer, will that be something that teachers and lecturers, in particular in Nigeria, will want to identify with and therefore trust, have faith in the promises that he has made? So, clearly speaking, sir, do you have faith in those 3 areas that the president has identified that intervention is required?
Now, one problem, again, we are facing in Nigeria is over-centralization. Now, everybody expects Shettima and Jagaban to solve the problem of teachers, to solve the problem of engineering, to solve the problem of roads, and so on and so forth. Those countries that I'm talking about that have moved, education is not centered in one spot. No, we came into this during the oil boom. The federal government took over everything from primary school to university. And now we are back to where no government can carry all the load. When we were in primary school, it was solely the business of native authority, they were called those days, to take care of education at that level. At secondary school, well, there are also community primary school. At secondary school, it was the regional governments that were taken. Federal government will have 1 or 2, 3 federal secondary school, like the one I went to in Warri, or the King's College, or one in Sokoto, and so on. This for national unity. But they were not taking all the load and saying, look, education. Well, federal government has a role in terms of establishing standards and overseeing some of the parastatals that deal with education. But for us to wash our hands and say, well, everything must be solved by federal government, is not right. It's not right. Because when I was in primary school, as I said, local authority was solely responsible for primary school. And secondary school was taken by regional governments, except for 1 or 2. And these things went on very well. There was competition, there was everything between local governments and so on. But along the line, you may have some unintended consequences of some actions which were meant to be to be very good. For example, the UBE or UPE on those days, in the 70s, when Chief Awolowo was the Minister of Finance, and based on his experience as the minister, and in the West, where he introduced universal education, said, all right, we have to apply this one to the whole country. After all, we have the money. Well, he was not a soothsayer. He did not foresee how we are going to use the money and how people are going to behave and how diverse the country is and how culturally it is not possible to apply one type of model in the West and think it will work in the East and it will work in the North. So what I'm saying is, as much as this government has good intention, and Shetima, my junior colleague, because I'm at least 10 years older than him, and I've been in the university for maybe 30, 40 something years. So I call him junior colleague. He has good intention and he understands education, especially at that high level, because he taught at the university level. But our problem in education starts right from the primary school through secondary school. We that teach in university level, you have the computer adage, garbage in, garbage out.
Yes.
You haven't got good secondary schools. You haven't got committed teachers at secondary schools. Why? Because you are not paying them properly, and they too are just taking this job as the last job. People who went to do education in university, you check the statistics, you find most of them, many of them move into banking, move into other sectors, and so on and so forth. And therefore, you don't have the best quality of people to teach at the secondary school, nor in the university. In the university in those days, for you to teach, it was an honor.
Yes.
Because the vice chancellor will himself says, look, Mr. X, you have got a first class.
Yes.
We cannot afford to lose you to the banks or to other industries and so on. True. Come and sit here and teach. And that's how most of us got into teaching. And the remuneration was fairly good. And some of the, you had housing,
if you don't mind me interjecting,
sir. No insurance in those days.
Yes.
You have all kind of things. And of course, the facilities also commensurate with the population we are dealing with. When I came to ABU,
Prof, if you don't mind,
is that when I started even teaching, the classrooms were like 30 people in a class. Now you visit, you find that same course, you have 250 people, some of them sitting on windows and chatting while you teach. That is not how you get quality education globally. This game of numbers, of course, you have large numbers of people. And if the past governments, I will not blame this one, every day or every week, you will hear the president establishing a university in one place or the other. I say, is this Nigeria that had to have Ashby Commission to look at higher education and come up with a recommendation that you needed one university in every region, and that led to the establishment of Ahmadu Bello University, of UNN, and also of what is now known as Abafame Awolowo University, which was then established in Ibadan before moving. They had a commission to look at all the problems and make all the projections and so on and so forth. Prof. These days, I'm sorry to say, my friend, Adamu, Well, he's my junior in university too.
The former minister.
He has his own appointment letters for vice chancellors in his pocket. In case the president will go to a place where they say, we want a university here.
Okay,
Prof,
if you don't mind me
give University of
interjecting.
Transportation. We'll give University of Agriculture. Adamu say, all right, one of his friends, go and be a vice chancellor there. Is that how you run education? You rubbish it.
Yeah.
You know, quality is very important. Not only numbers, not only numbers. You have to have high quality. And this quality goes also with quality teachers. And these quality teachers, are highly paid. Let me take the example of India. There are a lot of universities in India. I have not checked for the figures. But there are special universities, which you call IITs. IITs are Indian Institutes of Technology. Nehru conceived this concept as these are going to be the driving motor for industrialization in India. These universities were established as mostly technical universities where you do not admit you don't have more than 5,000 top students in IITs. Up to today, maybe today it has risen to 6,000 or whatever. And the teachers were highly paid because it was so competitive in the recruitment that you can only get the best. And now, look at Europe and America in particular. A lot of these big companies, even the one owned by Bill Gates and other people, are managed and run by Indians and from IIT. Not the numbers. It was not the numbers. It was the quality. And the payment at IIT, people in other universities cannot complain because they know even if they went to the interview, they wouldn't make it. This is the quality of people you take. And then you have to pay them also the kind of money, and you provide the kind of facilities that enable them to do research and also advance knowledge. And today, India has come out from what used to be a third world. Well, the numbers are too big. They cannot be first world just overnight. But what to be a third world? But to a driving engine in ICT in particular. And here in Nigeria, we believe numbers. Oh yes, I need a university here. I need a university here. And you send in anybody. And you have JAM. JAM will have 2.5 million people to go to this university. We have too many people to admit, and therefore we need more universities. They don't know that what you need is quality education. One good scientist can move this country more forward than you fill the whole class with people who have just come because we need. But, well, you can also have countries where have numbers and quality. Like China.
Professor Hamman Saad, we want to say thank you very much. Wealth of experience and depth of understanding of the education sector. We're most grateful for your contribution. We'll be delighted to have you again on the morning show at some point in the very near future, because the issue of our teachers is extremely crucial to national development without a shadow of doubt. So we thank you very much, Professor Hamman Saad, former Vice Chancellor.